In sports, they always talk about clock management and how important it is. Well, when it comes to these hot summer months, clock management is also critical when it comes to your irrigation controllers. We are now in the summer watering season. In the months of May through September, you can water your landscape up to 6 days a week, never on Sundays though, following the Southern Nevada Water Authority's mandatory seasonal watering schedule. Joining me now is Brian Nita with the Southern Nevada Water Authority's conservation team. And Brian, we know this time of year, your landscape and your plants are asking for more water. They're demanding more water, and they need more water. But that doesn't mean that you can't conserve and be water smart while you're doing it, right?
Yes, you are correct. And like you said, you can water up to 6 days per week in the summer, but never between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. and never on Sundays, like you said. So what we recommend is that you water 3 days per week for your drip irrigation system and keep an eye on your landscape. Remember, you can always add days as needed.
Yeah, and when you talk about 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., right, the hottest part of the day, that's not when we want watering. If you think about, going swimming, if you do have a swimming pool, you come out, when do you dry off the fastest? Well, it's in the middle of the day. The same thing happens with your landscape. If you water during the middle of the day, that water will evaporate extremely fast.
You're absolutely correct. Your landscape does evaporate water more during the hottest parts of the day, and that's why you cannot water between the hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m.
Big news this year is that we're in the middle of a federally declared water shortage for the first time ever. Southern Nevada losing 7 billion gallons. That's the cut we have to take because of this federally mandated water shortage. We're trying to stop levels at Lake Mead from falling even further. Brian, tell us how these watering clocks really play a big role in countering that shortage.
As you said, 7 billion gallons of water. Wow, that's a lot of water to be cut. But it's also the same amount of water that's being wasted outdoors due to overwatering, which is very unfortunate. Now, if everyone in our community would change their clocks each season, which is 4 times per year, we could recover all 7 billion gallons that is being federally cut.
Brian, of course, these irrigation controllers, they're not set it and forget it. Now, the smart controllers are great. You can go on your phone. You can make those seasonal changes on your phone. And we thank you to all of you that are following the mandatory seasonal watering restrictions. Yes, it is the law. Now let's talk about grass, really the biggest culprit of water use throughout the valley. People may like how it looks. They come from the Midwest, they come from the East Coast, they come from somewhere else and they move to the valley. They love it, but we're in the desert. Talk about really the numbers here and how much water grass uses.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. So we've done extensive research and we know that grass uses about 73 gallons per year per square foot, so which is quite a bit compared to we've done research on desert landscaping, and desert landscaping uses about 18 gallons per square foot per year. So a big significance of change there.
And another way of looking at this is imagining a column of water 10 feet high over that single square foot of grass. It requires 10 feet of rainfall to keep grass going here in the desert, whereas if you have desert landscaping, which of course can be beautiful, and we have plenty of examples of that, that requires only about a column 3 feet high to keep that thriving. But let's dig into grass a little bit more and talk about some news that we've made that has gone around the world. We've become the first community in the nation to put a ban on what we call non-functional grass throughout the community, and it has to be replaced by the end of the year 2026.
The new law does not affect single-family homeowners. It only affects non-functional turf along streetscapes, within businesses, and in certain HOA areas. We do have an incentive of $3 a square foot to anyone that wants to take out their grass and switch it over to water-efficient desert landscaping.
Grass is a water guzzler. So even though this doesn't apply to single-family homeowners, we want you to think about it. If you've got grass, especially in that front yard that doesn't get played on, that is only mowed and the landscapers touch it, we want you to start thinking about replacing that with desert-friendly landscaping. You can go to SNWA.com to learn more and start the process there and play your role in conserving and countering this federally declared water shortage.
We have our blue agave here, which is when I started the nursery, I explained to management we were going to start selling tequila.
Meet Larry Fawson, better known as Landscape Larry.
This is a med palm. We planted a number of these through. They function and survive very well here in the desert and yet give us height, and they also give us structure and beauties.
A man who never leaves his home without his pruning shears. A man on a mission to conserve water.
In 3 years, our community has saved 100 million gallons of water.
Fawson is the facilities maintenance manager for Sun City Anthem, an area in Henderson with more than 7,000 homes over 140 acres, a place where Landscape Larry is a useless grass assassin.
We elected to remove our thirsty plants, maintenance, and all the issues that came with it and start moving our community this way.
In 2021, Southern Nevada became the first community in the nation to pass a law banning non-functional grass that only serves as decoration. All HOAs, just like Sun City Anthem, must replace its non-functional grass by the end of 2026. Larry started this process in 2018, well before the law was set into motion, and the numbers scream it was the right thing to do.
In 2018, we were using about 100 million gallons of water a year. In 3 years, using those parameters that we work with, including these conversions, which are part of it, and adding smart controllers, we have reduced our water bill by 50%. So I'm using about 51 million gallons of water now.
Landscape Larry and his crew cut back the community's water bill, much like he cuts those rogue branches, to the tune of $90,000 a year.
So we changed our entire idea of water.
Just 33,000 square feet of grass converted to this beautiful desert landscaping equated to Sun City Anthem's 100 million gallons saved. To put that in perspective, imagine this.
A football field is about an acre, and 1 million gallons of water is approximately 3 acre-feet of water. So we saved 100 million, which is basically 300 feet of water. So if you sat in the football field and you looked up above you, you'd have 300 foot of water over a 1 acre area around you. So that's pretty impressive, what we've been able to accomplish. But I remember the first day when the first pine tree came down and I started getting phone calls. I felt like I had a bullseye on my back.
To change minds and open eyes, Fawson provided landscape tours to any resident that wanted one. He started a community nursery to save additional dollars and provide even more beautiful desert-friendly options. Today, you're hard-pressed to find someone that doesn't like what they see here.
Our residents have grown to love this. This landscaping is gorgeous. It's water smart, it's efficient, it doesn't waste, and lowers our maintenance costs.
The Southern Nevada Water Authority provided rebates for Sun City Anthem's turf conversion, in addition to the dozens of smart irrigation controllers that it also uses. Check out SNWA.com to learn about the rebates you can use yourself.
Drought is a natural hazard that can occur anywhere in the world. In deserts, tropical rainforests, glacier-covered mountains, anywhere. In this video, we're going to talk about drought in Southern Nevada, and in the bigger picture, the Colorado River Basin. First, let's define drought. Drought is a prolonged period of abnormally dry weather. That means an area or region is not getting the rainfall or snow it typically gets. The result is a shortage of water. To better understand how drought works, let's take a closer look at our water source. Southern Nevada gets 90% of its water from the Colorado River. We take our river water at Lake Mead. Lake Mead is a man-made reservoir. The lake was created when the Hoover Dam was built and it trapped the flows of the river. The lake acts like a large storage tank of Colorado River water. So we get our water from the Colorado River. But where does the river get its water? The Colorado River starts as snow in the Rocky Mountains located in the states of Colorado, Wyoming, and Utah. When the snow melts, it flows down the mountains in creeks and streams. Those creeks and streams meet and form the river. As the river makes its way south, it's fed by other creeks, streams, and rivers. The Colorado River travels through 7 U.S. states and the country of Mexico. The areas that feed the river, where water joins the Colorado, are collectively known as the Colorado River Basin. Right now, the Colorado River Basin is experiencing a years-long drought. The measurable snowpack in the Rocky Mountains has been consistently below average since 2000, and because the snowpack feeds the Colorado River, less water has been flowing into the river. And the drought is likely to continue.
There's a whole network of snow tracking sites, as well as satellite data that's used to determine how much water is actually sitting up in the mountains as snow ready to come down the next winter. There's also other measurements that we use to track that inflow to the river, but the one thing that's really easy for us to measure is the amount of water in the reservoirs. So we sort of have a system of measuring the water that's on the ground, the way it's getting to the river, and then the amount that's actually there.
Scientists use this data to make informed decisions about water supply, how much water is available, and water demand, how much water is needed. It's important that supply meets demand. During drought, water demand typically exceeds our natural water supply, and our water storage is used to make up the difference. Remember how we talked about Lake Mead working as a massive storage tank?
The most visible sign of drought is right here in our backyard at Lake Mead. If you go out to Lake Mead, you'll see what's affectionately called the bathtub ring. And what that really is this large white band of rocks that exists in the reservoir because the elevation of Lake Mead has fallen. So that's kind of what a lake is meant to do. When there is extra water, it stores it. And when there's not enough water, the lake level is drawn down. Another way of looking at it is right now we're using more water than nature is naturally giving us. And that's why we continue to see Lake Mead's elevation going down.
So what do we do about the supply-demand imbalance? We have a limited water supply. In order to live within the supply, we need to limit or reduce our demand. This applies to everyone in the Colorado River Basin and all the people in the 7 U.S. states and the country of Mexico who rely on the water from the Colorado River. That's about 40 million people.
What's unique about our current water supply situation and the drought that the Colorado River is experiencing is we're seeing less snow on average in general than we have historically, but we're also seeing hotter, drier temperatures, and the snow melts sooner. That means plants start growing sooner. It means there's more evaporation, so more water is being used from the system on top of there being less snow coming every year.
So there's less water and a growing demand. To understand how we can reduce demand in southern Nevada, let's examine how we use water. In southern Nevada, we recycle our water whenever we can. The water we can recycle is water we can recapture. This is typically water used indoors. Water used indoors goes down a drain or pipe and enters our water treatment system. It's treated and sent back out to Lake Mead to be used again. Recycling water extends our water supply in southern Nevada. On the other hand, water used outdoors is not recaptured. Once it's used, it's gone forever. This is why when we talk about water conservation in southern Nevada, we look to reduce outdoor water use. This doesn't mean eliminating outdoor water use altogether, but we do want to eliminate inefficient uses of water and water waste. Let's look at some examples. Trees, plants, and bushes are an important part of our outdoor spaces. Trees provide shade, plants help cool our surroundings, and trees and plants are a critical part of our natural environment and habitat for both humans and animals. All trees and plants require water to survive. However, their individual demand for water varies. For example, grass uses more than 4 times as much water as desert-adapted landscaping. So where and how we use grass is an important design decision. Another example, system maintenance. Water is delivered all throughout southern Nevada through a complex system of pipes and pumping stations. A leak in a pipe can waste a significant amount of water. To avoid wasting water through leaks, maintenance crews replace and repair pipes. They also look for leaks with leak detection technology. These measures are designed to conserve water and reduce waste, and we can do the same things in our own home's water system.
You know, scientists, engineers, and inventors play a huge role in our ability to adapt to the future challenges that the river will chase. Those folks are out there inventing and looking at new things every day that we can do to reduce our water use and to enhance our water supplies. And those things will be critical for our future.
And as we look to the future, we look to the next generation of cutting-edge technology and design solutions.
You hear that sound? It sounds like running water, and it is, sort of.
When you look to the skies on a rainy day, you think about Mother Nature at work. But what if we told you that science is now a partner with the environment when it comes to generating more rain and snow, especially as the West continues to battle historic drought and shrinking water supplies?
A majority of the water that gets delivered to the Las Vegas Valley, either through the Colorado River system or through groundwater, it originates as snow that falls in mountainous areas during the winter. And there's very little land where this snow actually falls in the upper basin or outside of Las Vegas Valley. So SNWA became interested in helping to increase the snowfall. So if there's anything we can do to increase that by any amount, that will help.
The technology to do just that is called cloud seeding. Its origins date back to the 1950s. Proven to be safe, research has shown it provides 5 to 15% more precipitation in a seeded area by adding small particles of silver iodide into a brewing storm. The easiest way to explain how it works, according to SNWA hydrologist Sean Collier, it makes clouds more efficient at producing precipitation.
Well, basically you're taking particles and putting them into the clouds, and then it's attracting water particles that are floating around in the clouds but not falling as rain or snow. You basically set one of these up on the base of a mountain where it then, the seeding material is released into an upflowing air mass where then it snows, it comes out as snow.
The Southern Nevada Water Authority actively funds cloud seeding activities in the Colorado River Basin, where 90% of our community water supply originates. Dozens of these seeding machines are spread throughout the mountains of Utah, Wyoming, and Colorado and kick on during storms throughout the critical winter months to increase snowpack. In the Las Vegas Valley, there's also a generator situated at the base of the Spring Mountains to help boost groundwater, which accounts for 10% of Southern Nevada's total water supply.
We put this generator here because a lot of the groundwater for the Las Vegas Valley comes from, and historically has come from, the Spring Mountains. So snow will fall up in the Spring Mountains over the winter, and then the spring it melts and it percolates into the ground, and then it comes up out of the ground in the Las Vegas Valley, or it can get pumped.
Numerous studies have proven seeding is safe. The silver iodide particles are filtered out well before the water hits your tap. Most simply attach to the soil as the snow melts. It's also extremely cost-effective as the materials are low cost, and the stations, once placed, are operated remotely. But if you're thinking cloud seeding is a solution to the mega drought and the bathtub ring around Lake Mead, unfortunately, it's not.
It's not going to, on its own, solve any droughts or issues like that, but it's one of the only ways you can help to increase that snowpack is through these cloud seeding generators.
Cloud seeding is a piece of the puzzle, but conservation is still our #1 tool to protect the water supply of the Las Vegas Valley. Follow the mandatory seasonal watering restrictions and visit SNWA.com for rebates and more tips on how to irrigate your landscape with less water.
Do you believe that we send all of our water to California? or that casinos and resorts use an outsized portion of our water resources? Well, we are here today to talk to you about several myths related to water use in Southern Nevada. We want to set the record straight and give you the facts. It's time to tap the truth. Hi, I'm Colby Pellegrino, Deputy General Manager of Resources for the Southern Nevada Water Authority. And our topic for this edition of Tap the Truth is the Strip uses way too much water, especially those Bellagio fountains. So there's something you have to know about the way water works in Southern Nevada. All of our water that hits a drain is treated and returned to Lake Mead. So any of the indoor water use within those Strip resorts, all the toilet flushing, all the showers, all the restaurant water use is actually being returned to Lake Mead and doesn't affect our water resource portfolio. As for the outdoor water use, if you actually take an aerial view of the Strip, there's very little outdoor water use. While those fountains and those pools seem gigantic when you're standing next to them, overall, they represent a very small portion of the square footage of the properties that they're on. And those properties are the economic engine for Southern Nevada. Our resort sector as a whole uses about 7% of our water resources annually, most of which, again, is being recycled and returned to Lake Mead. So the Bellagio fountains are iconic. Everyone who visits the Las Vegas Strip goes to see them. So they are there motivating a very huge portion of our economy. Now, would we let that happen today? Probably not. And there's actually some code in place to ensure that some of the things in the past don't continue. But I'll leave you with one other tidbit, and that is that the Bellagio fountains actually don't even use Colorado River water. They use nuisance groundwater that has to be pumped out of the ground, which occurs at many of our Strip resorts. And that's how we tap the truth. For more information about the most popular water myths in the Valley and the real truth about them, find us on YouTube by searching Southern Nevada Water Authority.
You see it all over town on sidewalks and streets, some large, others small, but no matter the size, the gallons quickly add up. We're talking about water waste, and as our community deals with cuts to our water supply due to a federal water shortage, water waste can't be ignored. Agencies in Southern Nevada are responding.
So starting this year, we have partnered with local municipalities in Henderson and North Las Vegas to add more water waste investigators to the field to enforce water waste violations in both municipalities.
More investigators and more vehicles will patrol the streets to recapture millions of gallons lost through the 7 different types of water waste violations that investigators will respond to.
The first one is a spray and flow violation, when water provided by the district is spraying or flowing off the property and past the property line. The second one is a day of week violation, so if you are watering outside of your assigned watering group, there's never any watering on Sunday. A time of day violation is specific to the summer, where you are not allowed to water between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. You are not allowed to have pools draining into the street. They have to be drained into the sanitary sewer system. So if we see a pool drain, that's a violation. You're not allowed to have a water feature of more than 25 square feet. You are not allowed to have a malfunctioning device or supply line, so a leak in your service line or a stuck valve that is constantly running.
The 7th is a violation of other service rules like washing your car at your home too often. In 2021, the Las Vegas Valley Water District completed approximately 16,000 investigations, an average of about 1,300 a month, spray and flow violations making up more than 50% of those, and with the addition of more patrols, those statistics are all expected to increase.
It applies to both homeowners and commercial, and our investigators will look for violations for in both sectors. They patrol residential and they patrol commercial as well. We are out there 24/7. We have staff that works all 3 shifts, so day shift, swing shift, and graveyard, and are out there every single day.
If you see water waste, we ask you to report it through the LVVWD app or at lvvwd.com. And while fines are assessed for repeat violations, handing out fines is not the reason additional investigators are patrolling the valley. It's to conserve our most precious resource, water.
The focus of our program is education. Our goal is to help customers understand what is and is not permitted and to help them make adjustments. We do hand out fines as people don't take care of their problems, but we generally will send a courtesy notice. We will always send a formal notice, then we will send a fee.
Hi, my name is Gio. Hi, my name is Kellen. Come follow us today as we check out Springs Preserve. Race it to the top. No. Fine. Whoa, you hear that? What the heck? Wait, let me see. Let me try.
Sit in and see what's inside. This is part of the new nature exchange. This is a fossil dig activity. We have a geocaching activity. We've been doing this for a long time at the Spring Preserve. It's always been a big hit. Now it's new and improved. Very cool deal, right? Nice.
So instead of hammering with like a big hammer, like banging on it very hard, we got this machine. So like it crushes the geode into 2 spots, into 2 rocks. And geode is a type of crystal, and it also rhymes with my name, Geo, except with the ode. I'm really having fun from the start of this and coming to the end of this. We figured it out!
You guys had fun?
Yes, a ton.
Hi, I'm Fritz Coleman, Garden Supervisor here at the Springs Preserve. Now that it's May 1st, it's time to change your watering clocks. And a question we get a lot here is, how can I efficiently water my landscape and yet still conserve water? Well, it's not too difficult. The way you do it is you take a look at the plants you have in your landscape and determine how much water they need individually, and then act accordingly. You might have a shrub that needs a lot of water right next to a cactus that just needs a little bit of water. So once you figure out what those individual needs are, you can adjust your clocks accordingly. When it comes to turf grass, there are ways you can conserve. Now, as you well know, turf grass is a very, very heavy user of water. And a good way to conserve water on your lawn is to let it go a little bit brown in the summer. I realize it's a little hard to look at a brown lawn, but you will save tremendous amounts of water, and we're in a time where we desperately need to conserve water. And in addition to reducing the amount of water you put down on your lawn and letting it go somewhat dormant in summer, you can also plant an alternative type of plant that will act and appear like a lawn, such as this star carpet, this little succulent ground cover here, which is green all year and requires no mowing and minimal water in comparison to turf grass. And once again, summer watering restrictions are now in effect. You can water up to 6 days a week, but never between the hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. If you have any other issues you'd like to learn about, other ground covers or other good water conserving plants, please visit SNWA.com.